Well, the motto in Brussels right now is never say never, considering that over the past couple of days we've had unprecedented decisions that seemed inconceivable just a week ago. However, the chances of a fast track accession for Ukraine are infinitesimal. Not only is it unprecedented, but also it's got three major factors working against it. For one thing, EU accession takes 10 years. So the idea of cramming 10 years into a couple of months is hard to fathom. The other is political. The appetite among the European public for accession is at an all-time low right now. It's even hard to convince national leaders to move ahead with the accession process of the Balkan countries that have been in the process for 10 years. So the idea of them giving unanimous approval to a country at war joining the EU is also pretty hard to imagine. And finally, the third is military. The EU actually has a mutual defense clause similar to NATO's. It is nowhere near as robust. It's obviously untested. However, it is there on paper. And so in a ludicrous hypothetical scenario where where the Ukraine were to join the EU, let's say in a week, that would immediately require EU countries to declare war on Russia. So with all that being said, with all these factors working against it, why last night did Commission President Ursula von der Leyen say that she wants Ukraine to be part of the EU? Well, notably, she didn't say anything about a fast-track process, but it is possible that the EU might open accession talks with Ukraine as a political signal. Ukraine is not an official candidate for EU membership right now. However, the history of the EU opening up accession talks for political reasons is fraught. We still have open accession talks with Turkey, which is now almost entirely concluded here in Brussels. Turkey will never be in the EU. Even at the time accession talks were started many, many years ago with Turkey, it was really the US and the UK that put pressure on the EU to open up those talks as a political signal to try to keep Turkey's orientation with the West. Even at that time, France and Germany really had no intention of Turkey ever being in the EU. That's the consensus here. And certainly the prospect is just forgotten about now. So having that open, however, causes problems. And so I'm not sure that there's appetite to open an accession for Ukraine merely as a political signal without a real thinking here that Ukraine ever has a chance of being in the EU. And generally, maybe things will change in this emergency situation. But generally, people here in Brussels don't see Ukraine being part of the EU eventually. They think the accession process is for the Balkans, the Western Balkans and Moldova, and then the EU is kind of complete. But we'll see if the extraordinary events we're experiencing right now changes thinking on that.
As you said, the door has been opened for now. Now, EU defense ministers are meeting currently. What's on the agenda, Dave?
So this defense ministers meeting was called at very short notice. It's actually starting right now. And the defense ministers, of course, their immediate task is to talk about the military aid that's going to be sent to Ukraine after this unprecedented decision yesterday to, for the very first time, have the EU fund military operations in a conflict zone. But really, there's a larger picture here with this defense ministers meeting. It is being considered the first defense ministers meeting of the new era, which started yesterday, in which the EU is seeing itself as a global power and a military power. That is a really sudden, stark change. And European Council President Charles Michel said this morning that after years and years of resistance to the idea of EU defense union, something changed yesterday. So I think that the defense ministers meeting right now, going on this afternoon, are going to be talking about the immediate priority of coordinating military assistance to Ukraine, but they're also going to be talking about the bigger picture, what this means for the future of the European Union, that the EU is now getting involved in military matters. It is a very, very big shift.
A huge shift indeed. Thank you very much for that, Dave. Dave Keating reporting there from Brussels.